Hi, everybody. I'm still a little bit sick, but, I just wanted to have a little bit of a off my chest moment because I'm entering the streamer sphere. I'm becoming a VTuber, and I get that the VTubing community has a wide spectrum of people. There's people that do more political stuff like Kirsha and Smugalana. There's people that do less political stuff like Cha Cha and Filian. There's a huge gambit, left to right, political to non-political, gaming to media and culture. It's not a monolith. Cool. But I have a serious issue when I see so often, over and over and over again, that the type of people that are in this sphere are so self-centered and so self-serving that they have no issue stabbing each other in the back or condemning each other for something that was not wrong. So right now, the big thing that's going on is Cutie Cinderella. Where Cutie Cinderella has basically said, yeah, I don't condone what my dad is doing by calling my stepsister instead of calling her my stepbrother. Now, personally, I think it's inappropriate to force someone to say something. Compelled speech is not something that I stand for in any way, ever, for any reason. Other than maybe telling people the truth, maybe then you could have a reason to have compelled speech. But that's not the case here. What's going on is she says, hey, I want to still love my dad, even if he's not doing something I agree with right there. Because overall, her dad has taken care of her dad has raised her dad has loved her, and her stepsister / stepbrother, depending on which side you're on. So, there's definitely this redeeming golden quality to the fact that she's like, no, I don't agree with it, and I'm going to call him out for it, but he is my dad still, and I love him. And so with that, he is still my father, and I'm still going to do stuff with him. I'm going to call him out for where he's wrong, but I'm going to do stuff with him. That is perfect. That is a perfect answer. There's nothing wrong with that answer. Only cultists will require 100% matching of the scripture. Even in modern Christian churches that a lot of people on the left like to call cults, there is, like, for example, my pastor at my church, he says regularly that he has sinned in his life, that none of us are perfect. He advocates for men and women to break porn addictions, to control their tempers and control their emotions, to do all these things that are sinful in different ways. But he never says, if you don't do all these things 100%, you can't call yourself a Christian. That's the exact opposite of a cult. The cult is saying, if you don't cut out family members that have loved you for decades because they do one thing wrong, you are out. We are going to come after you. And so now Cutie is apologizing because she had the audacity not to say, yeah, I've sworn off my dad, he's out of my life, and I'm no longer a part of his family because he doesn't gender my stepbrother correctly. Those are her words. And so we have this cult coming for her, and it's just ridiculous to me because of the fact that, hey, you are acting like a cult. She's now bending the knee to a cult that the next time she says anything wrong will be immediately picking their pitchforks back up. And then they'll be saying things like, oh, we knew Cutie was bad. Remember back whenever she said she wasn't going to condemn her father? even though she said she was going to condemn her father. It's going to be this brought back up, plus whatever the new thing is. Meanwhile, let me point out that this whole cult is also fully on board protecting Hassan, zapping his dog so hard that it jumps. That's not good. Tell me you've got the brain rot without saying the words brain rot. Because you have no consistency. Yours consistent as a line drawn by Michael J. Fox. That's all I gotta say. So with that, she's apologizing. She is bowing down, bending the knee, trying to get back in their good graces. And this all is because her two friends, air quotes, this is where we start getting into the whole thing about friends and real community and real friendships. Her friends threw under the bus. Valkyrae specifically is talking about how her whiteness is not cool. Her whiteness is an issue, and her tone with her whiteness is not good. And it's like, I'm sorry, that's racist. Racism is not, it will never be power plus, what's the word that they like to say? Power plus prejudice? It's never going to be that, ever. Racism, pure and simple, is any time that you think a specific race is superior or another race is inferior to other races. Period. That's it. That's racism. Definition. If you try to redefine words, it tells me one thing. You are losing the fight. You are losing the argument. Because if we are having a debate and halfway through the debate you say, well, you know what, going forward, we're going to change the definition of this word to mean this thing that actually frames the argument better in my camp, that's not a fair debate. That's not agreeing, or that's not following the rules that were agreed to. That's not doing anything. Yes, language evolves, but you evolving a definition in the middle of you losing a fight about racism because there's not that much in reality, and specifically doing so that you can protect people being racist, but because they're in the right group, you don't want them to be called racist, that's not an acceptable thing to me as a human being that doesn't actually think that we really have races. That's not acceptable to me. So, her calling out Cutie Cinderella for being quote-unquote too white or speaking from whiteness and all that, that's unacceptable to me. Absolutely unacceptable. She is a racist, and she had no problem sticking a knife in her friend's back, air quotes friends, because it would get her clout. That is unacceptable. Meanwhile, Cutie is girlfriend with Ludwig. I said it a little weird. Sorry, the German slipped out. So he also shows a perfect example of this not really friends back and forth thing that's just terrifying to me as a person who is trying to actually find friends. Because I want people who stream, not streamers who are people. I want people that are people first, that do streaming, not people who are streamers first, that happen to be people. Because the streamer will stab you in the back, will talk bad about you or talk good about you, depending on how much clout it will gain them. Will do all these different things. And the person will maybe say something that disagrees with you on stream, but will be honest about it and be like, hey, I don't agree with them on this, but they're still my friend. And I think they may have said it in a way that's not the best, but, they aren't meaning anything negative by it. That kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Two completely different attitudes. One will drop you like yesterday's trash if you do anything that puts them at risk. The other will stand side by side with you and say, no, this is my friend, like back whenever Pro Jared or sorry, like I said, still sick. That's why I'm keeping this relatively short. When Pro Jared or whoever it was went through allegations, there was a group of people that said, I don't believe it. I think he still was good, but, we need to see the evidence. That is the exact reaction that a friend would have, not a streamer. So Ludwig went through the recent thing where he's basically fully condemned Hassan's shot collar stuff, only to 24 hours later completely 180 it and basically say, yeah, I got a close-up picture, guys. It's okay. It's not a shot collar. It's actually just a vibrate collar. Even though his own girlfriend had already said it's a shot collar with the prongs removed. Even though she had already admitted it. He still said it. And he switched a whole 180 within 24 hours while denying that Hassan had anything to do with it. I'm sorry, but he also made one statement that I really, really, really want to call out on this. He said, I'm not friends with Hassan. I wouldn't go to his funeral. Firstly, if I consider someone a friend, I mean, he said he's not friends, but let's be honest. How many guys out there are comfortable with their girlfriend going to some guy that they are not friends with house daily? I'll wait while we count up the 0 hands that are in the air, because no guy wants his girlfriend going to another guy's house every day. And yet it is reported that she goes there at least nearly every day, if not every day. So what I'm hearing is she visits Hassan more than she visits her own boyfriend. Sounds like someone might have a chair in the corner waiting. Anyways, moving on, now that we're talking about cucky boys, Mizkif. Just another example of clout chasing, streamer being a person, not a person being a streamer. This dude has had so many crash out clips coming out that it is wild. Every time he gets called out on stream, he goes and leaves. And it's wild to watch how often it happens. Because I thought he was a grown man, but clearly he's not. Fast forward and skip over to his there are texts and Discord messages that have leaked from him about how he wants female streamers specifically for the clout ability. He wanted Imuru as a prop. From everything I can tell, he used her like well, I don't know how intimate they were when they were dating. He maybe used her like a sex doll, maybe not. But at the very least, he used her as a prop, a foot in the door. This would be the equivalent of me somehow getting a collaborative situation with Kirsha or Smugalana or Cha-Cha or Fillion or Bao or any female VTuber. Name one. And being like, yeah, I don't really care if it's them or someone else. It just has to be a girl. That's unacceptable to me. It's unacceptable to me. I'm making this video as a call to arms. If you are a streamer that is already established, make a core group that are people that you really trust. Really trust. People that you would go get drinks with, people that you would go hang out with, people that you would have to your house. Ray Narvaez Jr. invites friends. He is someone that is a person that streams, not a streamer that's a person. Perfect example, Ray Narvaez Jr. If you don't know him, go check him out. He's awesome. He has a Christmas party every year where he invites his friends. He gives gifts to his friends with no expected reciprocity from them. None at all. He just cares about friends. Ray is a good dude. Tina is a good woman. They are good people. The exact opposite of all the stuff that I'm seeing. Because honestly, I'm tired of this. I hate the fact that as I grow, I will have to start questioning, is this person wanting to be friends with me because I'm bringing clout, or do they want to be friends with me because, well, they are actually wanting to be friends with me? Do they like my personality, or do they like my viewer count? That's the difference. And I don't know how you can tell that. I wish that people I knew in the real world wanted to be streamers, so that I had people that I already was friends with and knew and got along with. Like, legit. This is a call to arms. Make your core group, make that core group known. Hey, these people, I have their back and they have my back. If you are a small streamer, don't stepping stone smaller streamers while you work up bigger and bigger. Personally, I want a group of maybe 15 close streamers, people that I'm friends with, where I will rotate who I play with. Because you can't play with the same person all the time. I mean, you could, but I mean, personally, I like the ability, because different groups have different dynamics. You've got the chibis that are insane. You've got the Zens that bring a little bit of dark chaos. You've got the Matt Axial that are logical. You've got the Rays that are nice and based. You've got the Cha-Chas that are motherly and nurturing. All these groups. I apologize. I'm about to wrap up because my throat's starting to go. But you've got all these groups of people that bring different things. And to limit yourself too much is a shame. But we need wholesome friends playing together. Alright, I'm ending there. I'm about to die. This is why my streams got canceled the last week. You guys, subscribe, share, comment, let me know what you think, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.